Fans, welcome back to another Footy RTA video where I teach you guys all about the business side of the world of soccer. So today I'm going to teach you about what is included in players' contracts, like wages, bonuses, and that kind of thing. So if you're into that, please destroy that red subscribe button below. And for this video specifically, I'm going to be talking about the player's contract with the clubs, not player individual contracts with sponsors and that kind of thing. I talked about that previously in other videos, but if you want me to do another video specifically talking about that, make sure to give a comment down below saying yes. Enough waiting around, so let's get started. If you're a regular viewer of the channel, first of all, you're a legend. Second of all, you know that this video is going to be broken up into parts, and in today's video those parts are going to be the different types of things that are included in the players' contracts. So arguably the most important part of a contract is the wages, because if a player doesn't get paid, he won't play. So the contract is actually centered around wages, and that's what we're going to be talking about first. So this is basically where the club agrees to pay the player a certain salary per week, let's say $500K a week in the extreme for a really good player like Messi, for example. And the player in return will go to training, will do advertising, which we'll get to it later in the video because that's a very important part too, and will play for the team, and overall, they're expected to perform for the team. And these wages are usually based off of previous contracts that players had with other clubs. So let's say, for example, Neymar was getting paid, this is just ballparking, but let's say he was getting paid $300,000 a week in Barcelona. Well, PSG are very different. They like to pay players a lot. But let's say PSG looks at that $300,000 and looks at what Neymar can add to the team, and based off of the $300,000, then they'll pay him a fee around there. Players will usually they don't like decreasing their salary, so it's usually a higher salary. So yeah. So this next one is clauses, not closets. So these are fairly simple in that the club will set a certain fee for other clubs that might want to buy the player outright without negotiating or anything. So basically the club will set, let's say, this is absurd, but a $700 million release clause. And if a club decides to pay that, the parent club, the club that currently owns the player, is forced to cancel the contract with the player, and the player will move on to the next club. But it's very important to note that the contract doesn't have to include a clause. It's just all up to the player's representative and the club itself as well, if they want to include it or not. So often in players' contract is included an advertising addition to their salary. So basically what they'll do is they'll tell the player, okay, you'll join, but in addition you have to do advertising for us. It's just part of the contract, and we'll pay you a little bit more. So basically what this is saying is that, let's say Hazard joins Real Madrid, right? And in his contract it says, okay, 400,000 euros a week. Well, on top of that, we're gonna pay you an extra 50,000 on top of your yearly salary. Yearly, this isn't per week. Per week would be absurd. And then that will enable Hazard to advertise for the team in events for Adidas or that kind of thing, jersey launches. So, and like I sort of mentioned before, the fee or the addition to the salary usually coincides with what the team decides the player can add to the club, in value sort of thing. So if you sign someone like Messi, that's insane. He adds a ton of value to the team in both on the field and off the field for club revenue. So obviously they're gonna pay him more for his advertising. So basically the bottom line is the better the player, the more you get paid for advertising for the team. And yeah. Guys, just a little reminder to remember to subscribe to learn all about the business world of soccer. Remember, you will learn from this all about the business world of soccer, contracts like today's videos, economics related to soccer, marketing strategies, brands, how they influence you, and all that kind of thing, leagues, so everything. So if you're into that, go subscribe right now, because I'm pretty sure I'm the only channel on YouTube that actually does this. So basically there's no one better than me. So yeah, go subscribe right now, and also comment below what you think should be added to these contracts, like ethically or like something that should be added in the contracts. Be sure to comment that down below. Okay, so on to the next one, penalties. So this is usually a set of rules that the club puts on the contract to like on the player's contract that the player has to follow. So they're basically sort of guidelines that if like you break, you get penalized for them. So it is part of the contract, but it isn't at the same time, because like it's if you break them, you know what I'm trying to say. So basically, if the player fails to, follow these guidelines, then they'll get penalized by the club for their actions. And the most common are, use of drugs, steroids, or skipping training, game day. Those are like the worst ones, but there's other smaller ones too. But yeah, you have to remember that a player's contract is not just one sheet front and back. No, sometimes it could be up to 50 pages. And the last main thing included in the player's contract, a pro player's contract, are bonuses. So believe it or not, players make most of their money off of bonuses, and these are usually used to first persuade the player to join the club, if like through a transfer. And basically what they'll do is the club will compensate the player for like a certain milestone. Let's say Hazard scores 20 goals for Real Madrid. No way that's happening. Like, oh my God, buddy, shoot the ball and score, come on. Anyways, yeah, so if he scores 20 goals, for example, he'll get an extra 500,000 added onto his yearly salary. So that's how it works with assists or anything like that on the field, off the field. The club will reward the player for that. So in some way, it serves as an expectation that the club has for the player and his performance. So there's other smaller things in contracts, but I just thought I would cover the main things since like they're the most important, most influential. Like, so to recap, wages, penalties, advertising agreements, clauses, and bonuses. So yeah, fans, I know this was a little bit of a shorter video, but I thought I would condense it a little bit more so you can learn more in a lesser amount of time. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to share it with everybody. As always, destroy the subscribe button and like button, and also leave a comment below of what videos you want to see next. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video and learned something from it. And if you did, comment below as well. And with that being said, see you guys next week.